Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gargoyles episode reviews. Today we're looking at High Noon. Demona and Macbeth are back, and they have their sights set on Coldstone. Something big is afoot. The clan must rescue Coldstone and stop whatever the immortal duo is planning. But are they walking into a trap? Well, they don't have a choice. Welcome back to the third tier of the series. Go read City of Stone or listen to it. The four-parter, if you're confused. Spoilers are the 2020 moments. Info from Ask Greg is in the According to Greg bits. Season 2, Episode 13, High Noon. Reasons for Existence. To continue the histories of Demona and Macbeth. To continue Coldstone's story. To transition into more of the Weird Sisters' plan. To explore the theme of loyalty. To show Elisa's competence. To explore what it means to be a hero. To kick off the third tier of the series. Main antagonist. Demona, Macbeth, the Weird Sisters, Iago. Times, mid-November at some point, and in 1995. Locations, New York City, New York, and Macbeth's mansion. High Noon. We open on a full moon, or is it? Digital monsters. We're in Coldstone's quote-unquote mind, where industrial bridges give place to Castle Wyvern. It's rebuilt from the virus's damage back in Legion. There's no signs of the orange mechanical tentacles. Looks like the interstate system there. You've got a bunch of industrial roads and sort of buildings with a swirly cloud underneath and above, and the one underneath is yellow. Othello lands beside Desdemona on one of the parapets. He gives her a handful of heather, but it has no scent. While this world resembles their old life on the surface, it has no substance, they say. If this is all virtual reality, can't they influence it? Also, why does it have no scent? They touch things. Is there no feeling? They can see and hear. Can they taste? It's not like they need to eat, but then that's not why we eat half the time, is it? Aside from their relationship with each other, their existence is empty. It's like a purgatory. Not extremely unpleasant, but not where you want to stay. Iago screams down and dive bombs them like an angry robin. He doesn't touch them, though. Wait, he got sucked into the virus vortex after he merged with Xanatos' control program. How is he back? Is it because he's a spirit? There he is, swooping him. They comment that he has no power to come between them anymore. It's not clear if that's because of their relationship, which is strong now, or because he's turned into even more of a ghost after the virus vortex. Well, great. Now they're going to make him even angrier. If he can't even interact with them, or the world, assuming he's a real ghost, he's essentially a ghost in semi-solitary confinement. Not exactly the best way to eliminate bitterness, or improve sanity. I'm also assuming they have some programming remaining that enables them to interact with their surroundings. That's why they were scared of being sucked into the vortex. If it couldn't have harmed them, then they would have just kicked back and gone down with it. But, I guess they didn't know if it would harm them or not, and I sure wouldn't volunteer to try it. The whole virtual reality / spirit world in Coldstone is very strange and confusing. Despite not knowing the specifics yet, it's still nice to see the Coldstone issue being addressed. Up to now, he's been holding the mops up in the clock tower's storage closet. It's a really good thing that no one ever enters that place and looks around. They might overlook the other items that are in the closet, the eye, the grimorum, and the Phoenix Gate, but I don't think they're gonna overlook a half-robot, half-flesh gargoyle monster. Well, in the real world, Lex has hooked up a laptop to Coldstone's motherboard. There you've got the big cable there. SATA cable. Now, don't start me on how improbable this is. Even if finding a connector with the same IEEE standard as Coldstone's, it would be extremely challenging. Even if you could just hook up the motherboard on there, which I don't think they would do, just in case he did get compromised. I doubt the designers used a printer cable connector. They didn't have USBs back then, but then again, they've got a whole lot of tech that we don't have. So, I don't know. then you have to be able to interface with Coldstone's programming. Okay, that's the main issue right there. Like, you can have all the computer ports you want, but if you don't have a computer's program that will interact with another program, then you're kind of out of luck. Coldstone looks like he runs on DOS there. He's got the black background and the nice green blocky letters. Lex says everything's been wiped, even the virus. Again, how is he accessing this information? Is it plug and play? Do the drivers come standard on that laptop? Lexington goes on to say if only he could develop a, quote, simple operating system for it. Yeah, a simple OS. Yeah, that's an oxymoron, okay? You have no idea how much hardware is in there. You don't know anything about the specs. What, you just gonna knock together some C++ and get him up and running like you did with the Pax helicopter and the motorcycle? He can't even get past the password phase, despite trying things like Othello, Desdemona, Iago, and yes, even Weissman. And there we get some of the passwords that he's tried on there. It would amuse me exceedingly if the password was Fox's birthday. Maybe it's alone, like in the last episode. But if it was Xanatos who made the program, then he would be the one to set the password. Elisa has brought more books on computer viruses. Books on computer viruses. Yeah. Do those even still exist? Technology changes so rapidly that antivirus programs have to be updated almost daily. Nowadays, anyway. Goliath confirms that while the programming is gone, the souls will still be there because it's sorcery. I don't know how he knows this. I think he's just assuming. Don't trust a ginger. The Gargs go to sleep for the day, and Elisa goes out to the street. Her shift is over, and she's beat. She meets Morgan, who tells her to get some rest. But there's a female ginger rookie leading a big guy into the station. Elisa doesn't recognize her. Morgan writes her off as a newbie, since she's cuffed a bruiser that she's leading in front. He's got his hands in front of him instead of behind him. Alright, I question the dude's color coordinating abilities. He's got a green hat, sort of greenish pants, red shirt underneath a purple, kind of weird-looking jacket. Elisa can't let things be, so she goes to tell the rookie how she's screwing up. Except the rookie and her suspect are gone. Where? To the clock tower, and they've ditched the handcuffs. Like a rookie herself, Elisa bounds upstairs, weapon leading. Of course, Ginger and Big Guy flank, disarm, and throw her. She hits the wall and really should have broken her skull or spine, but instead is just knocked unconscious. Ooh, taken down in the police station. Burn. Side note, Disney XD cut the scene where she slams into the wall. Oh, and who should be grabbing her but Macbeth. Is it just me, or the characters' faces, especially Macbeth's here, really handsome in this episode? Like, I'm not even making that up. I think they are. Meanwhile, Macbeth and the Ginger take off in his hovercraft. Red snarls that they should kill the Gargoyles now. Oh, look, it's Demona in her human form. When I first watched this as a kid, I didn't know that was Demona for a minute until she opened her mouth. Yeah. Alright, wait a minute. They're working together? But just last ep, which was a day ago or so, he was determined to kill her. And by extension himself. They've been at odds for 900 years. And what happened to the Weird Sisters? Did they wipe these enemies' memory? And why do they need them to team up? They are formidable, and in Demona's case, downright deadly, antagonists when acting alone. With them paired, it's going to be an exponential increase in their threat. This is so surreal. You see Demona getting on Macbeth's case about, not killing Elisa. Macbeth stops Demona, saying that there's no honor in killing the Gargoyles in their sleep. Now, Mac is a lot like Xanatos in that he's not really the Gargoyles' enemy. They cross paths now and then, and he uses them on and off, but he doesn't have grudges against them. He respects them. That's an interesting point there. They destroyed his home. Well, he helped after he started the little scuffle, yet he's not out for their blood. He lets bygones be bygones, just like Xanatos. Yet, unlike David, Mac doesn't have a blanket policy against grudges and vengeance. Demona's earned Macbeth's rage. I wonder if Xanatos would make a similar exception. if someone caused him to lose his status, his wealth, and his beloved wife. And his kid, actually. In essence, if they doomed him to a living death in exile, would he want revenge? It's a new night. Elisa's out for the whole day. Then she pops up like it's been nothing but a refreshing nap. If you've been out as an unconscious that long from a head injury, you best get yourself to the ER for a head CT. She finds Coldstone is missing. Also, you're not going to be popping up that quick. You're going to be pretty dizzy. What do they want with a magically revived corpse machine? He is so screwed, he's not even a vegetable. He's cold stone turned to cold flesh. At Macbeth's mansion, which he rebuilt back in the lighthouse in the Sea of Time, he and Demona are waiting on the sun, impatiently. She wants to wait till she turns into a gargoyle, since Coldstone won't know her as a human. That's a good point. Macbeth is way more antsy than usual here. See what I mean about the character's animation? I mean, it really is nice. The sun sets, racking Demona, and by proxy Macbeth, with pain. This comes as a surprise to Mac. Is it supposed to hurt that much? He says. He thought it was a gift from Puck. It's the big one. I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth. He's grabbing his heart. Oh, props to you if you watched Red Fox in Sanford and Son. Puck's gifts come with a price, Demona says. Well, then it's not really a gift, is it? 2020 moment. All gifts have a price. They're paid by the giver. If not, then it's a wage. Even then, it still costs the giver something. Turning Demona human during the day will mean she has more power. It's allowed her to pull off the Hunter's Moon plot more easily, which endangered Puck and his BFFs, House Xanatos. Puck's gift to David Xanatos, by that I mean the vow that he made to be Owen and serve Xanatos as long as Xanatos lived, cost Puck his powers, except when training or protecting Alex, and his place in Avalon. And yes, I know that Puck, when he agreed to stay on Earth rather than go to Avalon, didn't quite know that that's what was going to happen, and he was quite upset about that. But he kept his word, and Puck paid the cost for his loyalty to his friend. Not all of Puck's gifts cost the receiver, despite him being a fae. Side note, Macbeth calls Puck a changeling. That's actually a creature that fairies leave in place of a mortal child when they kidnap a kid. And they're supposed to be pretty ugly and just strange little creatures. All right, what's interesting, among other things, is that proximity seems to determine the level of pain that Demona and Macbeth feel from each other. Macbeth apparently didn't feel the pain before now, despite the fact that Demona has turned into a human every morning for months. They don't live thousands of miles apart either. They maybe live 10 or 20 miles away. This is a relief for both parties. Otherwise, if one lost their mind, even more than being a genocidal obsessed maniac, they could inflict pain on themselves to hurt the other party. No matter where that other party was in the world. And what's kind of interesting is they live that close to each other. Like, do they know they live that close to each other? Demona might know that Macbeth is there, but Macbeth doesn't seem to know where she is. I mean, after all, he tried to use Goliath to lure her out. I would think that if he knew exactly where she was, that he would go after her. Or maybe not, maybe just the urge to end it all just kind of comes on him once in a while. Maybe he did it with City of Stone just because she pushed the wrong button on him. Yeah, it's really hard to say. Maybe even the weird sisters keep them from killing each other. Anyway. According to Greg, people often ask Greg what would happen if one of the pair was beheaded. Would it grow back since they can only die if one kills the other? He says that it's a moot point since it's never happened. Way to not answer. Basically, the Weird Sisters' explanation of the two sharing each other's pain and anguish until one kills the other can be seen not only as the spell's conditions, but also as a prophecy, just like their once and future king prophecy. You can go read Greg's ramble on High Noon and his memo on High Noon. I'm assuming the links still work here in the blog. With Demona in her Garg form, they load the new OS into Coldstone. Where did they get this operating system? Did Demona have a copy from Xanatos? I mean, I guess that might be logical. She's sure not working with Xanatos anymore after this nonsense she pulled in City of Stone. She also casts a spell. Alright, no surprise, it's from the Grimorum, pages she tore out way back in Temptation. Amazing how she tore out the exact spells she'd need, despite only grabbing a small handful of pages. Like, really, almost like she knew exactly which ones to grab. In the 1990s, an infinite amount of data could fit on floppy disks, and they made the world go round. Just watch the show. She's, one of them's handing the other the floppy disk there. A portal opens in Coldstone Land, and Iago jumps through. Does Demona and Othello say good riddance to him? Unfortunately for them, this portal will put Iago in control of Coldstone. I think I'd go just because Iago was going. How did Iago know what it would do? For some reason, Demona and Macbeth have teamed up to put Coldstone back into play. What do they need him for? He's not a liability. He's more of a liability than a help. The clan has already taken him down multiple times, so it's not like he's a super weapon. I mean, they threw hubcaps at him, and it was bothersome to him. Demona asks Coldstone how he feels. Vengeful, he says. He's honest, at least. Check for traps. Oh, here we have another full moon, another giant full moon above Macbeth's castle, and I still think it's cool that he lives in the castle. Now, at the clock tower, however, Goliath is wondering how Demona and Macbeth escaped, quote-unquote, the Weird Sisters. Escaped? Goliath sees the sisters as guardians of some sort, which it seems at this point that they are, but why haven't they ever stepped in before if they're such great guardians? It's not like this is the first time Demona and Macbeth have gotten out of line. And if the sisters are only worried about stopping the pair, then they should have let Mac kill Demona, because this would end both their lives. Just stop the problem right there. No, the sisters have something else in mind. They were excited during City of Stone, remember? They're Fae, not Guardians. They're up to something. Oh, and there's the clan on the security camera. While Elisa goes back to work, the clan goes to Macbeth's mansion. It's easy getting in. It's not just because Lex has super spy skills, either. It's a trap. But what choice do they have? Goliath and Lex use the camera control room to check things out. They find Coldstone is chained in the basement. Bronx and Brooklyn are a team. The Gargoyles scratches at the door. It's a closet. They leave, but Demona emerges from the hidden panel in the back of the closet to face off against Brooklyn and Bronx. Nice job there, Bronx. He just tore up that door. Big peels of wood coming off it where he scratched it. This is why we can't have nice things. I would not want him in my house. Halftime. What a first half. Well, they set up a high-stake question that I need to have answered. I'm still baffled by why Demona and Macbeth are working together. It's got to be the sisters. But why? I still say it needs Xanatos and or Owen in this episode, but Macbeth is a good substitute. I like him. He seems more easygoing and less driven in this episode than previous ones, though. His lines are lighter, and there's more humor. I'm not sure if I really like him more this way, but, it's still fun to watch. It would be nice if they wrapped up the Coldstone situation in this episode, but I doubt they will. 2020 moment. It's irony that the one who wraps it up more than anyone else is 1/4 Fae and being guided by Puck. Also, they mixed magics there, like straight up mixed magics. So, I don't know what Xanatos was talking about, it being dangerous to mix magics. There's a lot to come in the next half. We'll discuss what Demona and Macbeth are really after and what's become of the Weird Sisters. So, what did you think of it? Did you recognize Demona right away? What did you think about Demona and Macbeth working together this far? And why did you believe that they were getting Coldstone? Alright, well, you can comment here, you can comment on the blog. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.